Okay, it says we're live. Hi,
All right.
everybody. We were live, and then we have absolutely no idea why, but YouTube kicked us off for some kind of copyright violation. We have zero idea what that was about. Um, I'm going to email YouTube and ask what in the world. This is Kerry's game. It's his game. He's sitting right here. He's below me, and there he is. I don't understand it. So bizarre. Okay, but we're here, and knock on wood, we're a go. So Kerry, second time, welcome.
Hi. Thanks for trying this, Michael.
That's like pulling my hair out. I didn't
Yeah, that's
realize we were
where
off.
that's where some of these things these days, these algorithms and these big tech companies, they because good luck getting an answer from them. But
I I
I don't
I
know. I can't imagine what could have happened.
I don't know. I mean, what we have on the air right now is what we had before. Literally, it's what
Yeah.
we had before, and they gave us the boot. So I don't know. All right, well, let's start again. All right. Well, hi, folks. My name is Mike. I'm here with Kerry, and Kerry is the creator of Pro Strategy Football. And the box that way is the beta version of the game for 2021. So, Kerry, maybe we should just make this quick in case they kick us off again.
Okay.
I don't
And
understand it.
you
All
know
right.
what? Maybe we shouldn't mention the three letters for the real football league. I
I
don't know
don't
why.
know. We've said it before.
Sure, and I don't know why that'd be a problem. That's public domain.
I don't know. Uh,
All right. So I'll just quickly, like you say, I'll touch on some of the highlights. The first thing I tackled this year is career stuff. I added free agency and franchise player, and it's all configurable. If you don't want free agency, you don't have to. You can choose how many players each year can become free agents on average. Works great. And because of that, because players now move among teams, I had to implement a whole new screen that is player history. For example, in real life, if you viewed the player history for Fran Tarkenton, you would see that he played for Minnesota, and then he played for the Giants, and then he played for Minnesota again. And my game now shows that. It shows where he was each year, what his stats were each year, and then his cumulative stats for each team he was on, and then his lifetime stats total. So that's in there. There's some other career stuff in there, but I want to move on to another really cool thing is the animation is so much better now. Between the animation and the audio, it's much more immersive. The animation now shows events as they happen. So if there's an interception, if there's a fumble, if there's a penalty, you see a message right there on that frame. You hear the text. You also have names on the players, so you can see that who the ball carrier is. And if he fumbles and the defense picks it up, then you see who that is and his jersey number and his name. So much more immersive. And I'm adding more sound effects to the game, more audio commentary. But speaking of that, it's also now custom, just like last year allowed custom images, and that's been improved this year too. It's much friendlier to do, especially on Windows. But now there's custom audio, so that you can use the sounds that are provided, and I'm going to be providing multiple sets. But you're also free to, if you want to make whatever sounds you want for touchdown, first down, and so forth. You can do that. And what I hope to do before the actual release of the game is to add team level audio. It's not there yet, but that would be nice if I get it in there. Then you can have, for example, college fight songs play. And speaking of college, the next big thing is custom leagues for season play. Um, you can now play a full season with any size league, whether it's got four teams all the way up to 130 teams. and you can import any season. And we're providing tons of actual schedules, but you can import schedules. For example, we're going to be providing a schedule for 12 teams. A schedule. We'll have multiple schedules for 24 teams, 26 teams, 28 teams, so forth, to represent the actual past of AFL and NFL. And hopefully that's okay to say. But we'll have representative schedule of the 1950s, the 1960s. And there's two parts to this. As Michael can show you right there, you can load custom leagues schedules for the regular season. But in addition, and see, he's showing right there, there's a ton just for this size league. And the game helps you. If you've got a league in there that has 28 teams, then you're going to see what are the schedules for 28 teams. Now, if there are none in there, you come in and you create a custom schedule with 9 teams, then there may not be a schedule for 9 teams. You can create one. It's just CSV, or there's a couple of buttons up there that say, okay, I'm going to try my luck with loading one that has maybe 10 teams or 12 teams or whatever. So all that flexibility is there for the regular season. Then you come to the postseason. And if Michael can show you here, you notice we're toggling around between, depending on your league. For example, if you've got 6 divisions, you've got multiple options. You can say 6 divisions, no wild cards, 6 divisions, 2 wild cards, 4 wild cards. And you can always say, forget it, I want to make my own custom bracket. And you can do that as well. So I flew through it to try to show that, yeah, I mean, so there you go, right there. And notice up top you can switch. He's showing 32 team bracket, but let's say you want to have 16, 8. You can do that, and the game will either shuffle teams and create this bracket for you, or what I'm going to work on next is the ability for you to go in there and manually set up your bracket the way you want it to be. So between having any size league and any custom regular season and the ability to use or customize your postseason, and what Michael is showing here is you can change the rules. You've got college, you can set the rules. You've got Canadian football, you can go with 3 downs, for example. You've got a 1969 NFL. You can use legacy, and up there, up top,
Oops.
there was the ability to do a quick set on rules, and I'm going to be adding more quick sets.
Where
So,
was this? Up,
upper left, upper left.
where's this quick set?
Yeah, so that's what you have now, but I'm
Oh,
going to
so
be adding
just
more.
so you could just hit this. I want the old from the 1950s or 60s. Boom.
That's right.
Interesting. I didn't even know I had that.
Yeah, I
Learn
need to
something
make
new
fun
every
of it.
day. Okay. Let's look at the gameplay. Um,
Yeah, so sorry we flew through that, but like Michael said, we don't know if we're going to get kicked by YouTube again.
um,
All right, tell us what you've got here, Michael. This looks good.
this is a homemade league file. It does not come with the game. It's a mod, but it's free. And this is 100 great teams dating back to the 1950s. And it's available for free. And you've made installation good, a little easier for people for next year in that everything goes into the default documents folder, so we don't have
Yeah,
to do the percentage sign, local app data percentage sign, and mess. We can just drop it in to the documents folder for Pro Strategy Football in the respective folder. We don't have to hunt around for it, and it's
right.
all there. So, so there actually is a 16-week schedule that's built for this 100 team league. I mean, who you play is kind of random, but and there's no playoff. You'll have to do your own bracket, but you could actually now do a sim of it. But we'll watch a little bit live, and the audio is off because we don't know if somehow that triggered, and it shouldn't because we've had audio before, but that triggered YouTube. Um, but Here, let me actually go. There we go. This is the game full. And what you see on the bottom with the Pro Strategy Football logos and the 2007 Giants, 2017 Eagles, ignore that for now. But we'll explain that in a minute. But that doesn't come with the game. But um, like you were saying, whoops, I'm going to go into let this play take place. Excuse me. I'm going to go into. Oops, where was where do I go to modify the game, the playback of the animation speed?
The audio or what?
No, the animation speed.
Oh, should be settings. Oh, you know what? I didn't notice I don't see settings on there.
Was
I
is
guess
this?
leave this match. Huh, that's a good thing to change.
Yeah.
You can save it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's just for demo purposes. But what I'll do is go into settings, animation, and down here, the game was originally two subframes for everyone that remembers 2020 and before. But even if you just go up to four, the animation is a lot. The animation is a lot smoother. Let me go back
Yeah,
into it.
if you leave one of those as a person coach, then you can get access to settings. I'll make a note of that though. I didn't even think about that.
But you have it set up so that you can have no names shown underneath the players. The way it's set up now is you see most of the players, their name and jersey and other. You can have it turned all the way off, and you can also have it so it only shows who has the ball carrier. So after the snap, it'll be the quarterback, and then the quarterback hands off to the running back. It shows the running back's name. Defensive player picks up the fumble. It shows the defensive player's name. But let me go back over here. Oops. And here we are again. Okay. But let me get out of this and finish the game, or just leave this match. Don't save, just quit. Um, the You're adding the ability for people to create their own. We already have the ability to create your own graphics, but we can create our own schedules. Um, and you're going to give us templates for 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 generic templates to build your own league of whatever size you want, and some generic schedules in that, you should just be able to point and click, and you may not get everything you want. Like I think the 4 team league has an 8 or 6 game schedule, but that's the only one that's there. But there's something for every even numbered size league.
And it's so easy to create more schedules.
Yeah, we can do a
And you can
video on
just,
that. Um,
yeah.
what I wanted to do here is I make a kind of announcement. I did put up a video of that there would be this game online, streaming. And the idea is, and right before I was doing this with Kerry live now, I was working with a couple of YouTubers. I will not name them yet. I don't know if they want to be named yet. Maybe they don't care. I don't know. If they're watching this or see this recorded, they're free to mention it. But we are going to attempt, so like you see now, we're going to attempt to do every once in a while on a Sunday a live game and have play-by-play calls. And like Kerry and I right here, it won't be us, but it'll be a couple of YouTubers, and we were doing rehearsals to do play-by-play, and it's going to be like watching it on television. I felt like we were doing Monday Night Football, and that I was
That's
directing,
awesome.
and
Yeah.
it was even though we were doing rehearsals and we were working out the kinks, and we were talking to each other about, okay, what do we do in this scenario? But that's what this is.
That is
Um,
great.
the idea is I put this bar down here to cover up, and I'm going to cheat and drag this up to cover up this bar in the game. It's not necessary. and I will be constantly clicking while the game is quote unquote on the air. Um, and the two kind gentlemen are going to call the games. Let me go back to the two camera setup. There we are. And basically, for the most part, it will be this, what you'll see, but it'll be the game in here. Um, the idea is to, um, we have a show open. I'm going to go ahead and roll it. And it's got the music, so I guess we're okay.
We'll
But
find
it'll
out.
be, I hope they're not kicking us for the music that you have the rights to. And
I do. I have the rights to
yeah,
that
they
music.
come with the game. And then we will go to, it'll be on to Dissolve. I'm going to direct this like television, but this will be like the fictional matchup. We don't know yet if we're going to do historic teams, we're going to do the modern teams. We don't know yet. And then I'm going to do this blind. All right, it's a double box, and it will be both of our YouTubers. I mean, it's still under construction, so forgive everything you see here. It'll be both our YouTubers, and they'll be discussing the upcoming game. And then we'll play the national anthem. And I have permission, by the way. We have permission. If those of you who remember Pro League football or Micro League football, I have permission from the game's creator to do this.
Please rise everyone for our national anthem.
That's the audio from his game. I have permission from him. He allowed me to do that, and this logo is from his game. And then when we go to the two camera setup, here, talk about the game. Okay, we're live on the field. Here's a kickoff, and then for the most part it would be this. But we also have, we don't know if we're going to implement this, but I'll show it. We would act as if we're doing a season. And here's a highlight from this particular game. And our announcers will call this. And you see on the bottom left the score. And then I go back to the game. So we want to do it like it's a live TV broadcast. But it's still a work in progress. We're working out the kinks.
That's exciting, man. That's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, this game is exciting. I mean, it's got the look, it's got the feel. And when we were doing it, both of these YouTubers were like on point. I mean, they were naturals. And it was like you were watching it on television. So we don't know. I'm sorry?
No, well, go ahead.
So we don't know what we're going to do. We don't know if we're going to do a season. We're still working out everything. We don't know if we're going to do like the game of the week, and we don't know yet. But we'll do it every once in a while. I think every Sunday for a regular season. We could still do a regular season, but it'd just be, so much. We don't know yet. We don't know if we're using classic teams. We're just going to do a matchup of the week or see. We don't know yet, and we don't know what season, modern day. We don't know. We're still in discussions about all that. But I will say one thing we want to do is hopefully we will have our own Hall of Fame game, and we will just do a game to like introduce everything, and probably work out the kinks while we're live, and give it a whirl and introduce it. So, we'll do it in the preseason, the actual
That's great.
preseason, if there is a preseason. I don't know what's going to happen. But Kerry, what else can you tell us about what plans do you have for what you've worked on now? What I know you're going to have to work out bugs and all that,
Yep.
and try to
Yep.
implement some more things. What do you've told us about college? You've told us about the schedules. You've told us about the animation improvements and the names under the players. I don't think we had before we were cut off by YouTube. I don't think you had talked about free agency. Do you want to talk about free agency? What you have now?
So it's in there, and it's pretty cool. I don't have salaries. I don't have any intention of going that route, not for any time soon. But instead, you can determine how many players can move on average from a team each year. And of course, players do age. And one of the things about the game is you can play it in different modes. You can play an exhibition game, which is basically a pickup game. You just pick any two teams, You have fun, you play that game, and that's it. You can set the weather, etc. You can also play a season. If you play a season, so what happens is you wind up creating a season league, and then you can play that as many times as you want, but it doesn't carry over. Players don't age and so forth. You're just saying, no, I want to play like me. I love the '77 Cowboys.
Hmm.
Well, I can play the '77 Cowboys. I can play their actual schedule. Then I can come back and say, okay, I want to do it again, or maybe I want to shuffle the teams, or maybe, well, what if they had more wild card teams available back then? What would have happened? So that's season play, which for a lot of us, that's like for college, that's what I want to do. I don't want to have career play with college. But if someone wants to play career play, now you get into the whole thing of building a franchise over time. Your players age. So when they're younger, they get better. But as they get older, at some point, like me, they start showing they start diminishing. And so that's in there. And now there's free agency and franchise players. I want to try to improve some of the screens for career play and single season play. Um, I want to add more stat screens. Currently, you can export on the desktop version. You can export all sorts of things out to text files. You can, that's great if someone wants to host things on a website, for example. Maybe you're trying to track weekly results and so forth. You can do that in career play. Well, now I'm going to add that to the single season play as well. Um, I need to finish fleshing out the custom brackets. Let you manually create those brackets instead of me doing it automatically. Um, One of the things I really want to that's been cool is the realism and accuracy of the game has always been very good. But when you started going back into like Miami of the early '70s, you said, well, those leagues were different than now. So I'm adding in some tweaks that say, hey, if you've got a truly heavy running team like the NFL was back in the '60s,
And
then I'm going to,
50s actually too,
huh?
and the 50s as well.
Oh yeah. So that is in there. So if anything, and these two YouTubers you mentioned, they said they loved the realism, but they wanted to enhance it even more. So you and I and the other couple of testers, we've been working on that as well. And so that's what I want to do next is add some more attributes to the game that we've talked about. For example, add in an optional attribute on how does a particular team do when they're at home? How do they do when they're on the road? And just to be consistent, I'm going to stick with the 1 to 9 ratings, with 5 being average. And so, yeah, lots more ratings to add, uh, polish, fixing bugs, those kind of things.
And I will say that from what I've seen, you've already made leaps and bounds over last year, and last year you made leaps and bounds over the year before. Um, the Excuse me. No, I don't have the beer virus. I got to be careful what I say because apparently
Yeah.
some YouTubers get in trouble for saying it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. I've heard that. So um, you've already made leaps and bounds. I will say that the biggest thing is even if you stopped right now, from what I've seen, and just worked on bugs. I mean, you've got time, I think, to get more things in. But the main thing is to make it as bug free as possible. I'm sure there's going to be the occasional one that pops up on release, but
Right.
there's nothing that makes somebody more upset than somebody releasing a game that is, how did this even get released?
That's right.
And there's this company that's makes a football game every year that is a train wreck, and people complain and complain and complain, but they end up buying it anyway because
Yeah. Those
it's the
people need to
only
come buy my
one.
game.
Well, yeah, I think it's a good idea. Um, but bug free as possible. But I will throw this out. I mean, you found out by accident last year that you actually had online play if it's done via Steam. The only bad part about it is, it's not your fault you didn't know, is well, the good thing is you don't even have to, the only one person has to own the game. The other person just has to have a Steam account and they can share the game from from the person that owns the game, and they can play it um, head to head via Steam. It's just that it's like uh, video games where console games where you've got the offensive playbook and the defensive playbook there, and you're both going through, and you can see each other's plays. Well, unfortunately, it's not offensive and defensive playbooks together. It's full screen. Okay, offense, pick your play, but
Right.
the defensive player can see it. So you got to go on the honor system of, okay, I'm going to look away. I'm not going to look at your play. And then when it's time for the defensive player to come in, then it doesn't matter if the offensive player looked, his play has been called. So you'd have to go on the honor system. But the online play exists now. But I will throw this out. If you are able, and we swapped emails about this, if you are able to um, allow in the game engine when a game is played to extract whatever information is relative to that game in a league, the statistics, the record, players hurt, whatever, extract it to a file, and everybody who plays online then takes those files and emails it to a person who's designated as the commissioner. So all you do is after you play your online game, you hit extract, name your file, your matchup, and then you email it to the commissioner, CSV or whatever you come up with. Then the commissioner takes all those files and you make a menu where he puts all those files in the directory and clicks import to this league, these files. And then all those files go in, and all the data from playing those games is ingested into the league file. Then the commissioner takes that league file, emails it to everybody else. You lather, rinse, repeat. We do week 2. Same thing. Other games have done this kind of thing. So if you're able to give everybody, and I know you've got a lot on your plate, but if you're able to figure out a way to extract and ingest, export, and then import, you've got online league play. Just like that. If you're able to
Cool.
do it, and I know you're busy with everything else, and it may not be easy, I don't know. But if you're able to do that, you actually have online league play. And I'm not putting no pressure on you, but if you were able to do that,
Right.
you'd have in the 2021 version, you've already got some kind of online play, and I think people would start making their own leagues.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, that sounds fantastic. There is a lot involved. Um, so my goal this month, because but other folks may not know, I have a real job, so I generally only
Oh
work on
yeah,
the game on
sure.
Fridays because I'm off on Fridays and Saturdays and sometime on Sundays and sometime in the evenings. Depends how tired I am and what my family